All right, friends, today's a big day. All right. Actually, tomorrow is the big day, Thursday. I'm putting this out on Wednesday, though. I wanted to get this out a little earlier, but at the same time, there was some clearing that had to happen before I really wanted to talk about this particular message. We have an event that's happening this Thursday, which is the 31st of January. An astrological transit, an aspect that has not happened in thousands of years. Okay? This is a creation of life aspect. This is a water and earth aspect. This is a Neptune and Saturn sextile. This is a very big deal. Very, very big deal. All right. This is not a daily video. This is going to be a longer astrology breakdown. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff right now. So again, part of it we needed to clear. We need to clear our plate sometimes before we can start putting on new stuff to taste the new flavors. It's like we got to eat a little piece of ginger here in order to prepare for that next bite of sushi. So that's kind of where we're at. We needed to clear some stuff off of our plate. We need to get rid of this old ideas, old thinking in order to taste that sweet, good stuff that's coming, right? But it's so important that we did the clearing aspects first before we create this new vision, because we have to make sure there's no lingering cobwebs and garbage. We can't have cobwebs lingering when we put up new paint. We're going to get cracks in the paint. It's like these old things will start to show themselves to us, resurface and show themselves to us if we don't really clear the plate. So when we're talking about Saturn and Neptune, we're talking about Saturn aspect is things coming into perfection, things manifesting into physical form. When we're talking about Neptune, we're talking about the creation of vision, the vision center. This is like where the third eye, our manifesting skills of our spirituality, our consciousness, our unconsciousness, our innermost dreams, desires, our imagination come to life. This is huge. This is major. This is not something you will ever see in your lifetime again. It happens 3 times this year, okay? First one is tomorrow, Thursday, the 31st of January, first time. It's going to happen again in mid-June. And then the third and final completion is going to happen in the beginning of November, okay? Now these are slow transits. These are our outer planets. These are very slow. This isn't like Mercury and Sun that happens for an instant. It's a day and it's kind of gone and it moves forward. These slower planets. It takes 30 years for Saturn to go around. It takes 176 years for Neptune to go around the Sun. These are slow transits. So what's going to happen is everything is moving forward right now. No planets are retrograde, so everything's moving forward. Since Saturn moves faster, it's going to create that point. Saturn up here in Capricorn, Saturn here in Capricorn from your perspective to mine. Neptune is over here in Pisces, home signs. These are home base, which makes them even more powerful because they're not taking on the characteristics of other signs, of other forms of creation. This is, hey, I'm home. I get to do what I do the best, I get to create and make things perfect and govern things and make it structurally and orderly and manifest these. And it's like there's a karmic time. The chickens come home to roost. And Neptune's over here thinking, I have nothing holding me back. There's no limit to me. There's no cap to me. You cannot, we're all, it's like, okay, Neptune, we're all connected. We're this oneness, all right? This string theory that connects you and me, and there's this air that's in between us is actually fabric of time that is connecting us, right? So this oneness aspect with Neptune, this oneness aspect with Pisces, it is like it is the infant child as well as the guru on top of the mountain. It is in full completion, that Christ consciousness, okay? That's what Neptune is. That's what Pisces is. Now let's break this down even greater to get an understanding of this is mental, okay? Neptune and Pisces is completely mental. Now our mental, it has nothing to do with this physical world. Think about that. Your thoughts are not from this physical world. Your ideas are not of this physical world. Your dreams are not from this physical world. And your emotions and intuitive nature are not of this physical world. Yet we intertwine them into our physical reality. And that is Saturn's job, this physical world, okay? It's like Saturn is pressure. Saturn is pressure and allowing things to be, it's like it rains diamonds in the rings of Saturn. That is the pressure that is created on that planet, all right? So Saturn's all about pressure and making things into form, all right? Neptune is that expansiveness. We're all connected. And then Saturn says, no, you are you. I am me, okay? I have personal identity. This is my life. This is my existence, It's getting into a bit of that Aries thing, me, my, but at the same time, we are individuals on our own individual paths, right? And my own individual dreams, my own individual ideas. Sure, we can share some of these things. We share this space. We share this air. But again, I'm not determined. I'm not committed to living your life. I'm not committed to your concepts or ideas. I can have my own concepts and ideas. This is a beautiful aspect of Neptune and Saturn, okay? In their home signs, they are the most powerful here in this creation process. So these three aspects that happen this year, Thursday, the 31st of January. Again, it's going to happen mid-June. I don't know the exact date, but mid-June. We're going to feel it all throughout June, and we're going to feel it all throughout the end of October, the beginning of November. So this is, to break it down, by sacrificing short-term commitments, we have long-term gratification. Okay? By doing spiritual work, I can manifest material benefits of that. Okay, so again, this is where our thoughts and ideas and dreams come into reality and manifest. That's the beauty of these two. These are heavy hitters. These are big time heavy hitters in the zodiac. Again, these outer planets. So we can look at it like, for me doing the spiritual work, material reward and gratification come from that. Which is funny because that's not necessarily what spiritual work is for, right? It's not about gaining diamonds and gold. It's about that inner stuff. So, for example, like we know for a fact, science has proven, science has shown us that meditation can lead to less stress. Meditation leads to a happier inner world, which a happier inner world we can exude to a happier outer world. We have, we have seen that positive thoughts and doing positive affirmations, again, this meditation, has an effect on our physical body. Doing the mental work has an effect on our physical and mental body. Doing yoga has an effect on your mental and physical body. Just simply breathing deep into the diaphragm, instead of the shallow breaths lead to lack of oxygen in the brain. Lack of oxygen in the brain, lack of oxygen in the brain leads to fight or flight mode, So we can feel like we're surrounded by a pack of wolves and we're surrounded by our friends in a loving environment, or our family. So we know that there is, science-based, we know that there are benefits from doing the spiritual work, from doing the yoga, from doing meditations, or from being conscious, mindfulness, these going to play off in your physical health. And in your physical health, if you are able to conquer tasks with ease and look at life with a set of overcoming obstacles, with looking for solutions instead of looking at problems, this, just that little switch in perspective and mentality can change how you are dealing with other people and your own internal stress as well, which is absolutely huge. And because this is inner world, outer world, Neptune, outer world, Saturn, physical world, Saturn, inner world, Neptune, okay? We are creating the balance of these two. And again, our perspective is super important. And how we choose to word things is also super important when it comes down to this, So let me just talk about, You know, we're talking about clearing the plate, clearing the cobwebs before you're painting over something, clearing the cracks so that stuff doesn't resurface. You know, this is not about politics, personal politics, certainly, you know, how we govern ourselves. That is very much a Saturn aspect in the sign of Capricorn, very much how we govern ourselves in our daily lives, our own discipline, our own structure. But perspectives matter a great deal. You know, just as an observation, again, this has nothing to do with politics, but as an observation, so many folks that were, you know, Bernie, free hugs, beautiful, free hugs, right? And now we have, that's not where we're at right now. We have, what's surfacing right now is we have the kids in the red hat, you know, marching closely to the gentleman playing, you know, the native drum, and it's really beautiful. Now, what do we see most when we see this video is so many people saying, I want to punch that kid in the red hat and right in the face, in his smug face. And we see anger. With this anger is not going to resolve an issue. It's going to teach and educate the opposite of what we want to accomplish. Now, that's super, super, super important. Okay? So if we're just feeding into the anger, that's not really ultimately what we want to teach. So we're adding to more of that toxicity, okay? So we need to look at our perspective, and we can shift our perspective and say, holy smokes, that guy playing the drum kept his peace. That man playing the drum stayed firm in singing a song about peace, and he didn't allow the outside, somebody else's dramas, somebody else's reality affect his. He played his drum. He stayed strong. Okay. This is a very big. This is a big aspect to this. So, you know what I'm saying there. It's super, super important to kind of recognize this. Instead of saying, I want to punch the kid in the red face, again, I'm not trying to talk about politics, this is about perspective, just about the perspective, and focusing from our perspective of the anger to the, wow, look at that person representing peace, representing love. I hope I can, in turn, when I'm facing a situation with somebody right in my grill with anger, and you know, you could clearly see the looking down on, you know, like you're beneath me kind of a thing. And it's just like, wow, can we now take that, and instead of saying I want to punch that person in the face, but be inspired instead by the person holding their strength for peace, for love, and say, can I do these same things? Because this is how we unite, and this is how we educate. If we just hit everybody in the face when they're wrong, you know, a lot of wrongs are going to happen. Clearing the plate, switching the perspective into manifesting a new vision of life, okay? Doing the spiritual work, doing the inner work, so that it reflects in our outer world. Now, we've also been, I'm going to talk about the outer planets for a moment. We've got Uranus in the end of Aries. It's like 28 degrees Aries right now. It's been there for about 7 years. Last year, it finally broke into Taurus, which is really great. But then it retrograded back into Aries. And it's just like, no, we still need things to work on about self. Uranus is the great awakener. Uranus is the breakthrough planet. It is the the eureka moment. It is, you know, its ruling sign is Aquarius, where the Sun and Mercury are right now. Okay, so this is about the community, but it's about self. So even though Uranus is about community, it's about the breakthrough. It's about the water in the air itself. It's allowing the electricity to make the connection, to spark. Okay. The lightning striking, the earth quaking. It's this, you know, that's the planet that disrupts and shakes. It is the great release. Okay. The great awakener. So it being in the sign of Aries is all about self. So we need to wake up ourselves. We need to wake ourselves up. And basically, you know, it's been 7 years of breaking the hamster wheel, or recognizing that we are indeed on a hamster wheel, and it's time to get off. And if we can get off and we can destroy this wheel, then nobody, you know, then our youth or whomever after doesn't jump right back on this stupid thing and just going around in circles and you're not getting anywhere. So it's recognizing that we are on this circle, this repetitive behavioral patterns, this social conformity that's happening. Oh, and you're mad about this, so I should be mad about this. And you're upset, and it's, whoa, 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 whoa. What about me? I have an opinion. I have feelings. I have emotions. And just because you're upset about something doesn't mean I have to be upset. Or just because you're not upset about something doesn't mean that I shouldn't be. Okay? We're individuals. So this is rebellious. Uranus is a rebellious planet. So when it's been in the sign of Aries, this is about self-rebellion. Self-rebellion, me, mine, I, and I need to figure out what's right for me. What's right for me? It has not been an easy time for relationships over these past 7 years. And I can say that we've also maybe put a little bit too much focus on them. And even right now, this is about self. This is about healing self. I don't want to get too hung up on this, but it truly is, since we're talking about the overall aspect of astrology right now, if you're in a relationship, that's great. You can grow as an individual. You can grow with your partner. Communication is the bridge between the two of you to, to allow that to flourish, But it's like, this is kind of a career. Look at the career right now. What are we doing with our careers? What are we doing within the community? And if you are single, and it's like looking for that partner, but it's like, right now is this kind of great time to, it's like, focus on what it is that you do, what it is that you're offering the world. How are you, working with others? Because that's how you're going to a greater opportunity to find the soulmate you're supposed to be with, by doing those events, by living in your purpose, not on Bumble or Twitter or swiping looking for a pizza for a human being and falling in love with a photograph, whatever it is. Again, I'm not judging that by any means. There's a lot of beautiful ways to meet people in this world. What I'm saying though is if we are focused on our path right now, we can find that much more soul nutritional relationship through that avenue, through the aspect of when we know and we have a better idea of who we are. Okay, so this is a great time as well right now to kind of focus on the career. Who am I? Remember who you are, why you came back. That's one of the cool things about astrology, is we look at it like this is, your birth chart is a snapshot of the universe, and it says you chose to come here now. You chose this time, this alignment to come here. You chose this family. That can kind of get into, theoretical into, past life stuff, but it's just kind of a fun way to look at things. Like, we chose to come back to this. I chose this body. You chose this body. You chose your family, your friends, your relationships, your parents. And a lot of people are like, I don't want that kind of self-responsibility. But that's just a kind of a fun way to look at things. Now let's talk about, so that's Uranus and Aries, about self-breakthroughs over 7 years. We've got just another month and a half before that moves out of Aries altogether. It won't come back for another 84 years. So that won't happen again. This is the finite time of this self-realizations, these wake up to self and who the heck I am in this world. Why did I choose to come back here? Why did I choose this time? To be born in, the ends of 1982 and to be alive now. And why did I chose these parents or all of these things. It's kind of a fun, don't get lost in that thought, but it's kind of a beautiful way to, wake up to self and what the heck am I doing here on this planet, right? Now we have Pluto, which has been in Capricorn since 2008. Now I know the main aspect here is the sextile between Saturn and Neptune, but all of these outer planets make a huge deal. So just follow with me. So Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008, which is also an awesome aspect. Is we've seeing this coming through the woodwork. This is the slowest transit, the slowest circle that we have. It's 233 years for Pluto to go around. Super slow. So it spends about 16 to 18 years in a certain sign, and it's in Capricorn right now. And the Capricorn Cancer, parallel, it not only has to do with home and family and business and government, but it has to do with, you know, the ideology of the masculine feminine parallel. Okay? And Pluto is the transformation, is the king of transformation, the lord of the underworld, if you will. Okay, this is all about huge transformation. And what have we seen a huge rise of since 2008, right? Our own sexual identity. Okay? And as we are talking specifically, mainly about the Saturn and Neptune aspect. Saturn makes things real. Okay? So now for just about 11 years, Pluto has been in here in the sign of government and structure and order, and again that sexual aspect, man, woman, masculine, feminine, and I have both feminine and masculine inside me, X, X, Y, 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 X, whatever. You know, we each embody both. And now here we have Saturn. When Saturn comes through, Saturn makes things real. Saturn says, okay, you know, it's like the genie in the bottle. Your wish is my command. This sexuality thing. Now we have New Jersey, the first state, I believe, in the United States, it's approving a gender-neutral birth certificate. Okay, so this was an idea planted, a seed planted, and now it's coming to fruition. This is becoming a reality in our world. You see how this works. So we've been for 11 years. We're working through this masculine, feminine, and who am I to the world, and how do I represent myself to the world? As Capricorn is the 10th house. This is how we represent ourselves to this, you know, to other people. I'm not sitting here in a business suit. I don't have a blazer on and a tie. It's, you know, it's not that level. I'm talking about astrology. I don't need to represent myself in that way. I'm also not sitting here wearing, you know, nothing. And so how we represent ourselves to the world is this aspect of Pluto and Saturn being up into Capricorn right now. So again, we see this huge change. We see more sexual surgeries happening. Not the right words, but you know what I'm saying. You know, we're changing, transforming our identity of sexuality. Okay, and Saturn moved into Capricorn December 2017, starting to make these things very, very real. And now these laws are going to change along with it, as our government is also changing with it. Again, Capricorn is about government, wholeheartedly about government. And that what's going to happen in January 2020 is also another aspect that hasn't happened in thousands of years, that Saturn-Pluto connection. Okay, so we are in an awesome time to be alive. Again, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents have never seen anything like this. This is so magical. This should be all over the news. This should be a worldly celebrated holiday. That's how big this is. But we have seemed to, for some reason, just swept a lot of these things under the rug. You know, it's like the December 21st, 2012. You know, if you know what a sound wave looks like, it's like this. Whoop, 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 whoop. You know, there's an up arc and a below arc, and up arc and a below arc. And our sun does the same thing. And this is what separates our ages, the ages. Okay? The age of Pisces to the age of Taurus, the age of Aries, yada, yada, yada. And that happened on December 21st, 2012. This is a huge time. The time for us, you know, and everyone's focused on like the stupid stuff. Everyone's focused on the kid in the red hat. And the world's going to end. Y2K, the BIOS are going to reset. Oh my God, stock up on water, you know. And then we have fear-driven, you know, through our news and media, fear-driven. It's the end of the world. It's the end of no. It's just an aspect. It's just a beautiful aspect that's happening. And I was in Germany celebrating, drinking some beers with my dad and brother. Woo! Okay? Not concerned at all about the end of the world. Nonetheless, but these are huge astrological events that should be celebrated, just as the Yule is celebrated, just as some other, you know, the equinoxes and the solstices should be celebrated. These are huge aspects. So, Saturn is up in Capricorn, making things real. Pluto's up there changing our government. And sometimes the wall needs to come down, you know, to see things as they truly are. You know, we need to shine the light on things and see our own shadows. And that's been happening since 2008. Now, Saturn moved in there in let's say the beginning of 2018, okay? And it's going to be there until 2020, 2021, making things real. So it's like, okay, Pluto, you want to change our government? You want to slowly move through for 16, 17 years and change our government. Okay, I'm going to say yes. I'm the genie in the bottle that's going to make this all real for you. And it's going to come with crumbling, and it's the alcoholic's moment of awareness. We have to hit a rock bottom before we can kind of get our stuff together. And we can look at our current politics, and again, that stuff with the people in the red hat, it's like our Bernie brothers and sisters were giving out free hugs, and those same free hugs want to punch people in the face. And I'm not generalizing and saying that's all people. Please, again, this is not about politics, it's about perspective, so I hope you can bear with me on that. But this is huge. Now let's look at Neptune itself. Neptune takes 13, 15 years, something like that, to move through a sign. 176 years to move all around the sun. So it's been in Neptune. It's about halfway through Neptune right now. Neptune is halfway through Pisces right now. It's ruling planet, okay? A ruling sign. So this is home base. Now, even our president came out last year and said we have an opioid epidemic. This is true. This is a Neptune in Pisces epidemic. This is an aspect of that. Why? Because we're dealing with the mind, and we're dealing with escaping reality. Escaping reality. I don't want to deal with life. I would rather get high and warm and doze off and not deal with the reality and the issues that are right here in front of me. Okay? This has to do with addiction. I'm addicted to these thoughts. I'm addicted to these concepts. I'm addicted to this is the way that I do my life. This is the way that I get up and do this. This is the way I get up and do this. And I put this sock on and I put this one on. Okay? This is also that Saturn coming in there as creation of what's reality. So we have escapism. I need to not be a part of this. I need to go do drugs to escape the reality of this. Or I'm going to ignore certain chores or certain things that I should be focused on to watch TV, to escape reality. Now we have, on the other hand, again, everything is a parallel. Okay? On the other hand of this Neptune Pisces, we have a rise of shamans. We have healers coming out of the woodworks, right? And leaders and teachers that are teaching about things like meditation, like shamanism, like yoga. More yogis and studios have popped up. I mean, holy smokes, it's absolutely amazing. I feel, I have all these singing bowls, and I got them in mid-2006, something like that, maybe even earlier. And then I blinked, and I was just like, oh my God, they're everywhere. People... It's coming out, because there's another half of these people that want to be so engrossed with reality. They want to feel it all. I'm not going to take prescription drugs. I'm not going to take Tylenol or whatever to fix this. I'm going to recognize this. I don't want to put a Band-Aid over a broken bone. I want to heal the source. It's going to hurt. Let's reset that bone. Oh, I have a headache. And instead of taking Tylenol, instead of putting chemicals that my body doesn't need, is not used to, I'm going to drink some water. Or I'm going to, headache's going to come out of stress or dehydration. So am I stressed out about something? Maybe I should meditate. There's a Nako song, Nako Berry, if you know Nako. The body talks and meditation helps. So, right? Escapism on one hand, and then the rise of, the shamans and the yogis and the teachers and leaders and people talking about astrology, whatever, because it's like we're getting more in tune to life on one end. So these are going to find that bridge and meet somewhere in the middle. And on Saturn on one end, we have people not wanting to, I don't want to adult. I don't want the responsibility. I don't want this daily responsibility. I don't want to, I just want to wake up and go about my business, whatever that is. But it's like we have this constant bit of tapping on the shoulder. It's nagging, saying, we can fix this. I can have a healthier body. I can have a healthier brain. I can have a healthier heart. And there's things that I can do, self-empowering, to do myself, that are going to get me through there. And back to the sextile, the internal work will pay off externally. By doing this internal work, by changing the perspectives that I have over here, I'm able to have a better relationship with myself. And because I have a better relationship with myself, I can have a better relationship with other people. and a better relationship with other people is me getting to know myself even more, right? You are my greatest strengths and weaknesses, as I am your greatest strengths and weaknesses. We manifest each other in order to fully see ourselves. God, that's so cool, right? And there's so many beautiful people in the world, and there's so many people that we want to dub as toxic. Toxic means poison. Toxic means it's going to kill you. If you eat 7 bananas in a day, you'll die from a heart attack. That's over potassium. Too much potassium. Are bananas toxic? No. Unless you have an allergy to them. But it's funny, like when we meet somebody and they're like, oh my God, we're just 2 peas in a pod, or like, clearly we're brothers, or we're soul sisters, or whatever it is, and we want to see that, oh, you don't meet anybody on accident, everything's for a reason. And then you meet somebody and you're like, they're a terrible person, they're toxic person. It's like, are they a toxic person, or are they showing you part of yourself, your own toxicity that we need to heal? I'm going to go with the latter. We're constantly seeing in others and ways that we can heal. So, it's switching the perspective off of pointing your finger at you to pointing my finger at me and saying, oh, I do that. That's part of me. Maybe a small part of me, but that's something that I need to work on and I need to fix. So the body's going to talk, and meditation helps right now. Yeah. So, all right, I've been flapping my gums here for 30 minutes. I want to wrap it up. So we talked about Neptune, we talked about Pluto, we talked about Saturn and this aspect. We're getting hit with this all year, and this is leading up to the Big Bang in January of 2020. All right, that's the Saturn-Pluto connection. It has not happened since the Knights of Templar. The events that are happening this year and next year are thousands of years. I have goosebumps. You can't see. I literally have goosebumps. This is amazing. This is the most amazing time to be alive, and you can create your own reality. And I've said this before, and this is a perfect time. I'll probably say this again throughout the year leading up to it. Walt Disney built a castle on swampland, and people said he was crazy. But he had a dream, he had the vision to turn it into what it is now. What vision do you have for life, for yourself? What vision do you have that you can help to offer something to others? What kind of castle can you build in a swamp that is going to be the mecca center of whatever it is that's your life? It's so cool. It's so cool. And then the last outer planet we have, it's Jupiter in its home sign as well. And this ties in because Jupiter is also squaring Neptune. Now these both have to do with expansiveness. Okay, so just to rebuttal, Uranus is the breakthrough, release of pressure. Pluto is the transformation. Okay, we have to see things for what they truly are before we can change them. It's sinking to the bottom emotionally, intuitively, and bringing things up. Yeah. Jupiter and Neptune are about expansiveness. One is about expansiveness within the third dimension, the laws of reality. So Jupiter is expansiveness within the laws of Saturn. Okay, I can only blow up this balloon so much. I can only fill up this glass so much. Its capacity to hold something is so much. It's limited. That's Jupiter's aspect of expansion. Saturn makes things real and says this is the limit. This is, you did this, you get this. It's karmic, and it's making things into perfection. It's making the coal into diamond. All right, and then we have Neptune, which is the expansiveness without the laws and without the laws of reality. Okay, Saturn is not here to put the limit on Neptune to say that you have to think this, or you have to believe this, or you have to feel this. You have that freedom. Expansiveness. So when we have this cool aspect of creating our dreams into reality, creating our inner world and manifesting it into our outer world, spiritual reward, material reward through spiritual work, and then we have Jupiter in its home sign of Sagittarius and Neptune in its home sign of Pisces, squaring each other. Now a square means they need attention, because this is saying I know my own limitations. And I'm not upset about my own limitations. I can only give you so much guidance. I can guide you in astrology or relationships or self-empowerment. This is where I excel. But if you want physical fitness, I'd have to turn you over to my friend Blake Bowman. You know, he's the health fitness guru. Or if if it's about nutrition, I would say I'm going to turn you over to Anush. She's going to have all of the nutritional background and the schooling and the knowledge for it that will help you expand in these areas. Or if it's, hey, my business, I want to expand my business. Well, Kira Palmy, she's going to be, my limitations, I am aware of my limitations. And when I can say, yes, I can do this, and I'm going to have to pass the buck off to this person because they excel in these other areas. Now, as we're going to wrap this up here, because I've been talking for a while, this is a calling to the healers, to the teachers, to the leaders. It's time. It's time for you to come out to show your face. It's time for you to do the work because the students are ready. Okay? Jupiter is an expansive sign of Sagittarius. This is about foreign knowledge. This is about knowledge outside of self. We are in a state of existential dismantling as a whole. We have, I won't talk about too much about Chiron right now, but sure. Chiron's at its last degrees of Pisces, dealing with our mental. Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Am I capable of doing this? The answer is yes. And we have to heal that aspect of ourselves. And now Chiron's moving out into Aries for about 5 years. 5 years, Chiron's going to move into Aries. So we're getting over, am I good enough? Am I smart enough to, do I look good enough? Is my hair okay? Is my physical features okay that I'm presenting this stuff? Am I going to be able to attract a mate? Am I going to be able to, whatever it is, it's going to turn from more of a mental to more of a physical part of ourselves. And again, with Saturn being up there, and it's like, okay, let's bring structure and discipline to ourselves. Maybe there's something we can do to physically and mentally to prepare ourselves to better get through this. But the point is, we have to understand that we are enough. We are enough. We are strong enough. We have enough knowledge. Okay? We have enough knowledge to teach. We have enough knowledge to ask questions. We have enough ability to pick up and say, who do I need to contact? There's an issue I need to work out. And I need to reach outside of myself, is what it's boiling all down to, is I need to reach outside of myself. I need to look at greater opportunities than me for information coming from a higher source, either connecting with your higher self or finding a teacher, a leader, a guru, whomever, that's going to teach you to get you to the next step of life. And that's what this year is all about, that expansion and learning. So, the teachers, the leaders, the healers, make your site, put yourself out there, do it, whether it's painting, creativity, okay, whatever it is, this is taking self-responsibility and putting it out there and saying, yeah, you know what, I've had these paintings sitting, I changed my paintings, had these paintings sitting in a closet, I want to switch them up. It's time to put some stuff out, it's time to put this stuff out there. Let the world know, whatever it is, you are a voice of your generation. Everyone is a voice of their generation. Everybody has what it is. I think it's where we're going to just kind of end this one is time to show your face, time to put it out there. This is an awesome time to do the inner work. The inner work has the rewards, the physical health rewards, the communication rewards, and how we interact with others. This is absolutely amazing. It's going to be an amazing Thursday. If you are in the Metro Detroit area, tomorrow, Thursday night, I'm going to be leading 3 meditation classes at the studio for mindfulness. And we're going to be doing some, at 5:30 is going to be an astrology meditation about this. Then we're going to do some opening the third eye and kind of diving deep and clearing the lens kind of stuff. So Studio for Mindfulness in Royal Oak. If you're interested in that, please put this out there. If you can, share this video. This is important. This is really important, as this is going to be this is the majority of this year we're dealing with this stuff. We're going to be dealing with this very beautiful aspect. The more internal work I do, the greater the reward is out here. Yeah. So this is a great year, the year of expansiveness. It's going to be a great time. Daily videos every day on Honest Aim. Again, I'm Aaron Michael Eschenberg. Thank you so very much for liking, for tuning in, for subscribing. And we'll see you tomorrow for the daily. All right. See you then.